God bless you. This is Pastor Bell from the Bethel AME Church in Monrovia, better known as Bethel Monrovia. On yesterday when we spoke, I shared the fact that sometimes doubt can creep in when we're waiting on the movement of the Lord, when we've been praying and asking God to intervene into our situation and bring about a change or a circumstance to change. Sometimes while we're waiting, particularly based on the circumstances surrounding it, while we're waiting, doubt can come in. And the Bible says, without faith, it's impossible to please God. And he that comes to God must know that he is, and he is a rewarder of them that seeks him. In other words, we must understand that God is God all by himself, and there is no other. And yet, God knows there are moments of doubt. And I want you to understand that your faith can change your circumstances. Your faith can change your circumstances. In the book of Mark, at the 5th chapter, this is a story that's very, very popular and well known. And I want you to understand some of the background in what's happening here and what Jesus is doing to this man. There's a man that meets Jesus at the seashore when he comes back across on the lake, Gennesaret. And when he gets there, the man meets Christ and asks him to come to his home because his daughter is dying, and the man feels that only Jesus can turn this situation around. Jesus agrees and begins to go with the man to his house. And in the midst of leaving to go with the man, Jesus is interrupted by a woman that is touching the hem of his garment. Now, I want you to understand a couple of things. If faith changed our circumstances, Jesus says, right, that if we had the faith of a mustard seed, you can say to this mountain, be removed and cast into the sea. But we don't always operate with the faith to do the bigger things, to cause the bigger things that we want in our lives to come to fruition. But in this circumstance, Jesus is going with the man already knowing that the man's daughter is dying. In fact, I believe that's why he allows this interaction with the woman. Because Jesus, when the woman touches his garment, he turns and engages the woman. Now he's on his way to the man's house. Jairus is by his name. But he turns and engages this woman. And after he determines that it's her, and after she presents herself before his presence, he says to her in very clear language, your faith has healed you. Your faith has made you whole. Message to the man that's waiting, your faith is what brings about a change. And so by the time Jesus finishes his interaction with the woman, someone from Jairus' house comes and tells him, look, don't bother the master any longer because your daughter is already dead. Now you can imagine there's a real possibility that the man probably feels that had he not been delayed, had Jesus come when he said so, things would have changed. But I believe that there's some things that we're asking God for or about that we don't have the faith to overcome the situation. And there are moments like that that God gives us a lesson to empower, or what you would call power up our faith. And some of us need a power up when it comes to our faith. Some of us need a power up when it comes for what we're waiting on from God. And this is what happens. So the man hears that his daughter is dead, and before he can go into the trauma associated with hearing that his child is dead, Jesus says to him, don't fear, just believe, and your daughter will be healed. And in the end, Jesus goes to the house, removes everyone from the house that does not share the faith that's necessary. And then he heals her daughter and raises her up. But it required the man's faith to be greater than it was when he met Jesus at the shore. And the lesson that he received from Jesus interacting with the woman was sufficient for him to capture a new understanding. And that is, your faith can change your situations. I don't know what you believe in God for, but there's a real possibility that part of the delay is for you to grow in your faith, for you to grow in trusting him in the things that you are going through. So go ahead and do it. Trust God with what you've asked for and continue to lean on him. If doubt comes into play, ask God to remove it and strengthen you continually so that you have what you need to have what you desire. Be encouraged today. If this helps you, if this encourages you in any way, take a moment to like and subscribe to this platform, and you'll get updates on a regular basis. God bless you.